Did Donald Trump really threaten Liz Cheney with violence during a campaign rally? I'm Ryan from the American Debunk. Let's dive in and uncover the truth behind this sensational claim. On October 31st, 2024, Donald Trump was accused of making a violent threat toward Liz Cheney during an event with Tucker Carlson in Arizona. Media outlets portrayed Trump's words as an endorsement of physical harm against Cheney, suggesting he called for her to be targeted.
Let's put her with a rifle standing there with 9 barrels shooting at her, okay? Let's see how she feels about it. You know, when the guns are trained on her face.
In reality, Trump was criticizing Liz Cheney and politicians like her for their eagerness to drag the United States into endless wars, sending young Americans to fight with no clear end in sight. His use of the phrase firing upon Cheney was hyperbolic, meant to illustrate her as a war hawk, not to imply any real harm. Trump's comments called out establishment politicians who, in his view, prioritize foreign interventions over American lives and interests. Now let's watch the full clip to see the context they did not want you to see.
And Cheney was he said, I really want to thank you. He said, now I'm so glad that I actually endorsed you. It's amazing, but that you would do this. And I didn't speak to him about it. But then, go a couple of years forward or go now. And I don't blame him for sticking with his daughter. But his daughter is a very dumb individual, very dumb. She's a radical war hawk. Let's put her with a rifle standing there with 9 barrels shooting at her, okay? Let's see how she feels about it. You know, when the guns are trained on her face. They're all war hawks when they're sitting in Washington in a nice building saying, oh, gee, let's send 10,000 troops right into the mouth of the enemy. But she's a stupid person. And I used to I'd have meetings with a lot of people, and she always wanted to go to war with people. So whether it's her, whether it's Dick, I was surprised a little bit with Dick Cheney. I didn't know him at all. I only had essentially the 1 or 2 phone calls, and it was only a call saying, thank you very much for doing that for Scooter Libby. That was nice. And Scooter Libby, by the way, was beyond that. He couldn't believe that it happened. Nobody would do it. They should have done that for him years before. But I was a little surprised because I actually thought that Dick Cheney would go with me over his daughter, and he didn't. And you know what? I understand it. It's your daughter, and you go. But she's a bad person.
Now that we've seen the full clip and have the complete context, it's clear Trump wasn't making a threat. He was using strong language to criticize Cheney and politicians who push for endless wars. Now let's break down how this hoax was created to misrepresent Trump's comments using the techniques featured in Hoaxology. The first technique we'll go over is out-of-context quote. This technique was key in distorting Trump's words. By isolating his critical comments about Cheney, the media presented his hyperbole as a literal threat, rather than as pointed criticism of her war hawkish stance. Another technique that was used is called pretending hyperbole is real. Trump's exaggerated language was taken literally by media outlets. By pretending his hyperbole was real, they framed his statement as a call for violence, rather than as a critique on politicians quick to send Americans into foreign wars. Thank you for watching, and remember to check out The American Debunk at americandebunk.com for full debunks on this hoax and others.